Greetings everyone in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I'm continuing the video called the Vow. If you all did not look at my previous video from last week, I'm not going to go over the entire video. However, sorry for the noise in the background. That's actually my cousin playing some music there. Yeah, so I'll be as brief as possible. I did a 21-day worship vow to God, and I told God that when I do this, I'm expecting to get money at the end, and there's a reason why I asked him for money. So if you want to hear about that, you could go to the other video. The previous video actually have the first set of money I received after I completed the vow. So as the title of the video about someone in my family committing suicide. So during this period when I asked God for money, and at the same day, which was the Monday, the 30th of May, when I received the first set of money, and I was still expecting more money, right? I actually I hope this music don't distract me. Yes, actually my dad committed suicide that very same Monday. Well, I did not know, right? The following day I knew about it. So before I go into all of that, I would like to say a few things, right? This is not the first time I'm doing this video. It's the first time I'm doing one for Facebook and so forth. And I don't like to talk about these things, but if God had me to talk about this to help somebody, let the will of the Lord be done, right? So I'm going to give you a short synopsis about my dad and so forth, and then I will go into the vow and what happened next, right? Okay, so basically, I was actually expecting, when I prayed to God, well, did the worship to God for money, for it to come through the bank, right? And the reason why is because my grandmother, who was a pastor, she's deceased now, my mother's mom, she had that experience, and I used to look at how she used to get blessings and so forth from God. So my father now, my father used to preach. He's a minister. You will see me reading because I don't want to forget things, right? He used to preach the word. He used to minister. He used to encourage people in the Lord. He was always eager to witness, to tell people even not to commit suicide, right? But you know what I've realized for myself while my dad was alive is that the love that he had, what he used to show to us, me and myself and his children, but not all of his children, but my sister and I, and his wife, my mother, was a love that was conditional, not unconditional. So I love that come with condition. So if you do things to please him, he will love you, but if not, he would eventually just and I remember at the age of 16, my father, we were linemen, and he asked, I think he asked both of us, he asked when he got older if we would see about him. I was like, obviously yes, but I told him straight, I said, if it wasn't for Jesus, I would not have helped you when you get older, when I'm working, because of the things, the way how you treated us, right? But because I know God and actually have the love of God in me, I wouldn't do that, right? So he used to give us money, of course, when we were growing up, but basically it happened because he was put in court, actually. And my grandmother, the reason why I'm saying all these things, so you could have a better understanding. My grandmother, my mother's mom, she was the main dependent for my sister and I, right? And if it was not for her, I'm telling you, my sister and I would have suffered. You see, how children in Africa, let's be, when they're starving, we might have been looking like that. Like, to be honest, this is the reason why even in this house right now, it's because of my grandmother, not because of my father, because of my grandmother. So I have to thank God so much for her. And when I turned 18, this is what happened when I was 18. I was in upper sixth in my high school, and that's, I would have been graduating the following year, right? Or the year next year. And like 3 weeks before I turned 18, my grandmother, who was my main dependent, right, like 90% of the finances was coming from her, she passed away, right? So basically that was the end of it. But thank God she actually left some money for my sister and I in the bank. thank God. And also I must acknowledge that one of my father's brother, he used to help us out also a bit. Right. Yes, so my father, as soon as I turned 18, I was still in school in my last year of high school. My father done with my child support. So I originally wanted to go university when I finished high school, right? And because my grandmother died and now my father is done away with paying any finances for me, I decided that I'm not going to suffer and go through this struggle my way through university. I'm going to work. So by the grace of God, I got to work after I graduated. Um, so basically, come like I jeopardized my plans for to get a job to meet the needs. And well, looking at it now, I believe it was God's will, right? um so I would, even after my father like done away with me, because he was still giving my sister until she turned 18. So I would call him sometimes, not just for money but to say hello also, but I would call him because he even stopped calling us. So I would call him, and there were times when I needed like an extra something. I would just ask him and he would do it until eventually he got fed up. And one day I asked him and he promised me, and when I asked, remind him about it, he told me, he said, do you take out my money tree? So I was like, so what you expect me to do, to go and sell my body? Because I'm thinking that I I don't know, like my mother's not really working, right? I know you abandoned me at the age of 18, right? Which is law, not, I don't know why about the case. But the thing is, who do you expect me to go and ask, right? I mean, if you can ask the father, who else you going to ask, you understand? So I stopped asking him. And then, well, basically, regardless of what my father was doing, he was usually a person that's very jolly, always smiling, laughing for no reason, for good reason, whatever the case was. So in early 2016, I realized that his countenance, he was just sad. Like almost every time I see him, he's not smiling, he's not happy. I knew something was wrong, but I did not know he was depressed. Right? So I would call him now and again. I remember the last time I called him before he died was in April of 2016. I called him, and usually when I call my father, he has played tricks on me. So I was like, Daddy, no, actually, I don't say Daddy when I call him because I want to hear what he's going to say. So I was like, hello, good day. And usually he would say, who is this? You know, acting like he don't know his own daughter's voice. But that particular day, I said, you know who's speaking? He was like, yes, my good friend. And I was shocking because my father don't usually tell me that. But basically, what he told me that day in the conversation was very, very strange what was going on. And after that, no, I remember that when I was working at Thursday, that would have been 11 days before he died, in May, actually, 2016. I went to do some shopping and I saw him, my taxi stand, and he was standing back there by himself. I actually wanted to hug him, but like I didn't feel it within my spirit, so I shook his hand, and then I kept walking. And while I was walking, I wanted to turn back and look at him, but I don't know, it was just like so strange. I just kept walking, like, you know. And 11 days later, which was the Monday, the same Monday after I completed the 21-day vow to God, is when he would have took his life between the Monday night, that was the Indian arrival day, the 30th of March 2016, to somewhere there. I believe it was a night, right, based on what I heard from his brother, one of his brothers actually. So I got the first set of money, which I spoke about in my previous video, and you know, the Tuesday morning is when I got the news about my father's death, when one of his other brothers called me, and we called, and my sister took on the phone and he asked for somebody else, and I responded. And he was like, sad news, and I told it was my grandmother who died, and then he said my father. I was shocked. I was like, how he died? Like, what happened to him? Because I know my father was sick. So I think he probably got in an accident or something, but I learned that he took his life, right? He committed suicide. I was like, what is this? That's the devil's work, right? So that day I ended up going Shogunas actually, and where he was the last time I saw him, I looked there, even though I know if he's dead, he could be anywhere in China if he was alive anyways, right? But just that memory, and then when I saw he wasn't there, obviously I knew he did, but I was just trying to like come to terms, and just not seeing him, I was like, wow, this man really dead boy. And the thing is this, right? I never said this before, but I had intentions that when I grow older and become more independent to make up things, because I'm a person, I'm trying my best to live a life pleasing unto God, so that one day I'll be in heaven with the Lord. And I don't want to be holding a grudge against nobody. And I never really hated my father, but I did not like the things and the way that he treated us or me, right? And so that night we went week. And that night I couldn't sleep good at all. I was like twisting, turning, sweating, worrying, frustrated, can't think. I was like, not just me, my sister and I, we were like, oh my gosh, like whole night. I know for that entire week crying. I went to work the next day, and actually I was working as a clerical assistant, basically the secretary spot. So anybody coming was to me, I couldn't even like contain myself. They had to like they had to send me in another room, and then for the week I took the week off because I was just constantly crying regards of what he did. He have a soul, and it's not nice for somebody to perish like that, right? Um so I want to say something. When I used to call my father, knowing that he was also in an adulterous situation, my father was literally at a point in time not really going to church, and he like basically slipping or backsliding or whatever. And I would tell my father, I was trying to tell him, Daddy, when you come out of this life and this kind of thing, and he would be like, but the Bible say all have sinned and come short of the glory. So I used to be like, so basically I still listen, and when he used to tell me that, I could have tell that he was just using that scripture as an excuse. He didn't really concern about living righteous. Because if you're telling me that, yes, I know all have sinned, but it does not mean we will remain in sin, because no sinner will inherit the kingdom of God, right? So everybody was shocked when he died and so forth. And of course, I know that God is a forgiving God, but Mark chapter 12, verse 7 says that Mark chapter 12, verse 27 says that he is not the God of the dead. God is not the God of the dead, right? But the God of the living. He therefore do err. Right? So who is dead? There's no repentance for the dead. And my father knew the right thing. He knew the word of God. He said, preach the word of God. And that makes it so much worse. And look at how terrible he ended up. That's why the Bible says that he that endures to the end shall be saved. So also Revelation. And I personally am telling you, I believe and I know that my father's in hell. Why? Because in Revelation chapter 21 verse 8 says that, but the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their parts in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So my father, people will say he commits suicide and all this kind of thing. See, delusional people, I don't like to hear. But the thing is the Bible is the Bible, and the word of God will always be true and will be the word of God, right? So there's a difference between somebody who murder someone and someone who murder themselves, which is called suicide, but that doesn't change the fact that it is murder, right? So when my father took his life, a sin is committed when someone is dead, right? If I was going to lie, I didn't sin, but the minute I lie, I sin. So a sin is committed after you commit an act that is considered sin, right? So even if someone attempted to commit suicide and they didn't die, they didn't commit suicide, they didn't murder themselves, but he died. He committed suicide, he died. And a sin is committed, a murder like that is committed when someone is dead. He killed himself. So how after he's dead he's going to get forgiveness? There's no forgiveness for the dead. The Bible said that God is the God of the living and not of the dead, right? I wanted to read Luke chapter 12, I think it was. Luke chapter 12 verse 47. It says, and that servant which knew the Lord's will and prepared not himself shall neither did according to his will shall be beaten with many stripes. Right? My father knew the right thing, he would be beaten with many stripes. His punishment is worse in hell than someone who didn't know God or didn't need to preach the word of God. Right? So I want to end by saying that, so my father died the Monday night. His funeral was the Saturday of that week. And I was not expecting nothing from my father, knowing the kind of things that he used to do and how he was spiteful towards us. And of course, I was not expecting nothing. So obviously, my name was not on the will. So I was not going to get nothing according to my father. But God allowed things to work out in a way that I tell you, I was not expecting nothing. The Saturday, one of his brother, his eldest brother, actually had a meeting, and he decided to share a certain portion of his money between the three of us, which is my sister, brother, and I. And you know, it was a couple thousand, and I was like, it's afterwards later on the day, I was like, wait, I asked God for money. I got some money. And basically that money from the money lasts me on the whole entire week, right? And as a result now, I got money as a result of my father's death. I was like, so my father had to die for me to get this money, like seriously? You understand? And as I said in my other video, I usually used to get paid month end, and month end was the Tuesday. Oh, right, the Tuesday, and I did not get paid a whole week until the next week Monday. So God allowed them to hold back that money so I wouldn't interfere with that money. Right? So it was very sad. I love my father. I will always love him. Even if I could do something now to get him out of hell, I would. And I hope that whoever God allow me to give this message for would hear it, and it would help them in some way. Right? We need to be careful with the word of God at this kind of time. We need to be careful when a child of God, a true child of God, is praying to God or vowing something to God, because they never know how you would end up. Some people would be like, so how God could do that? I will not blame God for my father's death, because my father, every one of us have free will, we have free choice. So there's no blaming of God. So this is already a long video, so I hope that this video bless your hearts. And again, I got two. I didn't just get money actually on that Saturday. I got a few items from my dad's stuff. I said I was not expecting to get nothing, but everything works together for good. God knows best, right? So I pray that this video bless your heart. You can share, you know, you never know who would who this message can be for. So God bless you all. Bye bye.